You feel that now? I feel like Rocky in this one, baby. Let's go. Alright, check it. Blast from the past, back from the future. So if I pull the trigger in the past, you know you and your future. I'm still hustling, still hugging the block. The referee to the shit, I'm still calling them shots. I can't be stopped. That's what I told you. I'm living my life like a box of Crayolas. I'm cutting up white, smoking that green. Purple color pens, I'm still making this cream. I'm so sick, check my throat quick. My wrist light up a room like a handful of glow sticks. I'm like spoiled milk, the kids gone bad. Stannis the menace, my pen touches the pad. Niggas is mad, but the ladies is glad. Yo, they rubbing up against me like this nigga is rad. Fucking two divas, drinking on sangria. I got the beam of the colors, diarrhea. Tire strings on my feet cause I'm so fly. Hopped out the DeLorean, it's Artie McFly.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Rick H Show.
Hey.
As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Jasmine Ruiz.
What's up, y'all?
I didn't hear the applause. You guys heard the applause? Is there something?
We hear the applause.
I heard it.
Figure this thing out. And joining us today is author, podcaster, and go-getter, my man Nelson Rodriguez Jr.
Talk to me, family. What's going on? Good to be here. Blessings. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the time out of your day.
So this was a couple weeks in the making. My man Richie Rich, he reached out. He's like, "Yo, my boy's doing a book. I need you to check him out." And I checked you out for a little while. So for the audience, who is Nelson Rodriguez? Give us a little bit of your background, Nelson.
Sure. So born and raised in Miami, Florida, Cuban, 100% Cuban blooded.
Mm-hmm.
Like my friend Richie says,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't born in Cuba, but Cuba was born in me.
Yeah.
Very proud of my heritage.
Mm-hmm.
Born and raised in humble beginnings. Like most of us that have immigrant parents come to this country, try to make something of themselves. And as a young kid, my first example into what someone can do if they set their mind to something was Scarface. So I saw Scarface for the first time when I was 12. I know it's not exactly what you should be. You should be watching. Not what you should be watching as a preteen. But it had an unexpected.
I saw it at 12 too, so it's fine.
Hey.
It was... We don't come from censored households over here.
No, I was playing GTA at like 8. Yeah. My mom was buying me Grand Theft Auto at like 8 years old.
I'm pretty sure she didn't know that it was like what GTA was like.
Right. But hey, so anyway, me personally, I come from very humble beginnings. I come from not making a whole lot of money and not having a whole lot of examples of what a successful person is or can be, or the potential of a human being in my family.
Yeah.
And watching that film for the first time as a kid had a really cool effect on me because it gave me an insight as to what it was to set your mind to something and not stopping until you accomplished it. You know what I mean? Okay. Tony Montana, he was a drug dealer. He did a lot of crazy stuff, but within that, there's a lot of positivity that I learned. And that's basically what the culmination of the book is. I realized a few years later, fast forward to 2022, that I just embodied a lot of the principles that are in this movie. And I decided to leave this book as a legacy. Last year, I walked away from my full-time business. And I really thought about what I wanted out of life. Like, I took a day to really think about, like, man, if I die tomorrow, what proof is there that I was here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I decided to write the book. It's my legacy. It's my masterpiece, and it's the first of many to come. I'm proud of it.
So I have two questions to follow up. Did you relate to the film so much because Tony era cubano? ¿Y de qué parte de Cuba es tu familia? So those are my two follow-ups to.
Sure. 100% yes, because there's not a whole lot of for whatever reason in film,
Mhm.
he's the Cuban that stands out in film, right? Even though it's a fictional character.
Character.
By the way, Al Pacino nailed it because coming from a Cuban, let me tell you,
Yeah.
we've been portrayed in other films, and I've been pretty frustrated with how they portray us.
Mhm.
He killed it. I don't know if you know this, but during the film, he made everybody who spoke Spanish on the set speak to him only in Spanish.
Only in Spanish.
Yeah.
I got a backstory about Scarface. So Chi is actually a stand-up comedian. And one day I stumbled into an open mic session, and he hit the stage, and I was like, "Oh man, you don't know who that is?" I was in college, and all my friends were like, "What?" I was like, "Yo, that's Chichi Get the Yayo. That's him. That's him."
Chichi Get the Yale.
So he has more lines in the film, but I have
Right.
the autograph program from that open mic.
That's awesome.
And it's stuffed
That's
into my
dope.
Scarface
Super dope.
film. But I didn't know that fact. I'm a big Brian De Palma fan, and a lot of Cubans didn't like the accent, but I thought Pacino did decent with it.
He killed it. He killed it. There's not one thing I can criticize about Al Pacino. I take it a step further. The man doesn't speak Spanish, and in the one scene where he spoke Spanish, he was on point. He had our accent like perfect, and it's rare because it's not an accent you see in film. There's not a whole lot of, like I said, a whole lot of Cubanisms. You know what I mean? So yeah, one, he was Cuban, and I was able to relate to that. And then aside from that, my family's from a town right outside of Havana called Santiago de Las Vegas. It's a little, it's comparable to like maybe just outside like the suburbs, maybe the country, not too far from the airport. Pretty much my whole family on both sides is from there.
So I've seen Scarface many of times, and I never thought to think. This is why I like the idea of the book. I never thought to think Tony's method or the way he went about his life was something that you should, just like Kobe Bryant with the mama mentality. Excuse me, I'm a little congested, but Tony's method is a way you could apply to not just because it was about drug dealing, but take the drug dealing away and you put it into selling cars or selling homes or whatever.
100%.
It's just the mindset. So what about that connected with you the most?
I didn't have any confidence in myself as a kid at all. And Tony exuded confidence. Tony walked into a room and he was just as powerful, bigger than life, like larger than life presence. And you couldn't deny it. He had this magic energy every time you see a scene and he walks in a room and people just react to him. He was it's a character that had this special flow, this special power that exuded, you know what I mean? So that like immediately for sure is the first thing that I can tell you was the first thing that impacted me. You know, I almost considered him like this godlike superhero, you know what I mean? For sure. Aside from that, there's a couple things. So he was always hungry. Like desire, like animal ambition, that unquenching thirst to get more out of life. That's something definitely we can learn from the film, and that's something I adapted into my own life. I always try to like level up, no matter what I'm doing or what project I'm working on or what I complete. I always look for a way to do more or strive for more, evolve more as a human being. He himself in the movie evolves, like he levels up, and you see this guy like, man, he goes from living in a tent to, you know, having this $500 suit on to all of a sudden being the biggest player in Miami. Like it's a constant evolution and it's a constant strive for more. You know, there's several of them. I broke them down to 9 in the book, good and bad, because obviously there's a lot of things you shouldn't do that he did. Mainly being ego, right? The ego's not bad when it's in check, but when it's out of control, you know, you end up snorting a mountain of cocaine and getting killed by an army of psychos. You know, so, and even in the end, possibly the best lesson that I learned in the ending of the movie where he dies, he went out on his terms. You know what I mean? Like no matter what, even if you know you're in a battle in life, a metaphoric battle, and you know you're gonna lose, give it all you got, man. Make sure your enemies remember you. Make sure that the person that had to confront you or the obstacle you had to face remembers how difficult it was to take you down. So that next time around when they face you again, they might think about it twice.
It's about heart. That's so important. It's about heart.
100%.
Jazz, I'm curious from your point of view about the book. Is there something? Because my follow up would be, you already mentioned Ego. What are your two favorites out of the 9? But before that, I'm gonna let Jazz ask you a question
Sure.
on the book. And
Yeah. Would you say that this impacted, would you say that this was your first, I guess, role model? And were the qualities that you saw something that you knew you wanted, or was it something that you didn't know you wanted, and then you saw it in him and you're like, whoa,
or
like
maybe
it
you
That's
had
awakened
it all
something?
along and it woke you
Yeah,
up.
like did you have
that's
it,
a
or did it awaken something in you? Like what was that?
it's a fantastic question, and it has layers to it, because I myself, when I was a kid, I was a bit of an introvert, and now I'm
Mhm,
an extrovert.
mhm,
I'm the total opposite. So I think it did awaken something that I had within me that I didn't know I had.
mhm,
Right.
And then aside from that, I had he was sort of a role model in the fact that I was able, as I got older, I was able to keep watching the movie and separate the good from the bad and be like,
Right.
man, this is what I gotta follow. This is what I gotta be like.
Mm-hmm.
So for
Mm-hmm.
sure, I would say my first, not my first role model, but definitely my first inspiration. Like the
Gotcha.
my first inspiration, like person that inspired me, or
mhm,
I
fictional,
love that.
non-fictional.
So many people, like they'll say like their role model or inspiration is just someone that's like unequivocally good. I
mhm.
like that you kind of have this
Nah,
character that's like has good and bad, and there's a little bit of good and bad in everything. So I think it's
definitely,
really cool that you got to see the good in all of it.
So
for
Tony
sure.
Soprano gets credit for being the first anti-hero on the screen. It was the first time America or anybody viewing television was rooting for a
An
bad guy,
anti-hero.
an
Yeah.
anti-hero, because Mont Soprano, I was gonna say Mont Soprano was not a good guy in all means,
No, definitely
but
not.
you saw the conflict within him. I think it's been on film before that, and I think Tony was the first, one of the first, and if not that, we'll go to Pacino's other role as Michael,
As
The
Godfather, yeah,
Godfather.
of course.
Yeah. So, is there someone else besides Scarface, in real or fictional, that has also you've taken that mindset from them as well?
So in film, I specifically am a big fan of the mob
Mm,
genre.
mm,
Um, and I tried to, as a kid, I didn't get into it very much, but as I got older, I kind of really got into the mob genre. And Tony's good, but I didn't get into Tony until recently. I didn't see The Sopranos until maybe like a year and a half ago.
oof,
And
we got to follow up on that. Okay.
yo, no, that took my love and respect of the mob genre in film to another level. The Sopranos, and I didn't even know that The Sopranos was the first film or the first show
Yeah.
that started this whole trend of TV shows.
Hmm.
I don't know if you guys know, but back in the day, it wasn't cool to be on TV. Like
No,
actors were like, "Oh, you're
It
a TV
wasn't. That
actor."
was like
no,
where
it
they
was
put
not.
trash.
It was
Like,
it was ridiculed by Hollywood, called the small screen,
Yep.
yep.
because you're on a television.
And Tony Soprano was
Mhm.
played him, bro. James Gandolfini, God rest his soul, he played that character in such a way that he started this whole new wave
Uh-huh.
of wanting to be on a TV series. It's the thing now. I mean, you got guys
Yeah.
like Al Pacino doing a TV series in what was it called, Hunters on Amazon Prime. So
Uh-huh.
it's he changed the game. But me personally, Ray Liotta, another one. Rest in
Oh,
peace.
rest in peace.
Yeah,
Rest in
yeah.
peace.
Henry Hill was
Hmm.
was a good one.
Hmm.
Um, and then outside of film in general, there's a lot of people that influence my life. If you want to talk about, maybe I'll give you maybe a couple of them, just so like my personal life, and then maybe
Yeah.
someone like an athlete or something I look up to. For sure, an athlete. Man, there's no one like Michael Jordan. There's no one
Really?
like Michael Jordan. The Michael Jordan. If you watch that Last Dance,
I mean,
The
man,
documentary on Netflix.
I lived it, Nelson. Like I watched Michael torch my Knicks every night, front row, and I hated him for it with a passion, but super respect, because he was just like, you guys want to beat me, you got to beat me, and the road always went through him. And I think the
Hmm.
closest thing we've had to him was Kobe,
for
and
sure,
and
100%.
it doesn't get mentioned enough, because Kobe mimicked Michael to the T, and they always bring up LeBron over Kobe, so that's something that annoys me. But
I
finish
have Kobe
your
over
thought.
LeBron too. I have Kobe over LeBron too. Funny enough, I mentioned some of these guys in the book.
Mhm.
I mentioned Michael Jordan. I mentioned Phil Jackson.
Mhm.
Uh,
He's
from a coaching
Phil's got some great books. I don't know if you read 11 Rings.
not yet,
Fantastic,
but I'll
fantastic
definitely
book
pick
on
it up.
leadership and stuff like that.
Definitely
And the other one, I've read both of his books. Really good insight
cool.
onto how he thinks and operates. But I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, no worries. So if we're talking about authors, a guy I've been getting into that's completely changed my outlook on life is a guy
Hmm.
named Robert Greene. If you guys have never
Hmm.
heard of him,
Is
he's
this 48
fantastic.
Laws of Power, right? That's what he did.
48 Laws
40.
of Power,
And then he did
33
50.
Strategies of War.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
50th
I'm
Law.
gonna have to look him up.
You
His
never.
books.
I have not heard of him, and I do
His
love me some
books.
books.
The book
Let me
is
tell
so
you.
dynamic because the 48 Laws of Power, he states the power, defines it, and then gives a story.
And it gives a story. Yeah, I love
So
his
it's
writing style is
just
so unique.
fantastic the way he did it.
If you like
Definitely
his
good book.
writing style, you'll like mine because I didn't do it exactly like him. I have
Mhm,
my own style, but I have like I talk about the concept in the beginning of the chapter. Then I'll give you like a story where I applied it in my life, and then I'll
mhm.
give you the scene from the movie where I learned it from. So I kind of it's
Nice.
kind of like
I love
in that
something
pattern.
that's very segmented like that. It's like so clear to follow.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So I wanted to ask you. So you mentioned Tony Montana being a role model, and Italians view mob movies in a different light than the general audience does. You know, because it makes them look in a bad light because they get pigeonholed. Do you have that same issue with Scarface?
Not at all.
No.
Because like I said, and it's funny enough you're talking about Italian Americans not liking how they're portrayed in mob movies, and I
Mhm.
idolize pretty much all those guys. Like
Yeah.
because it goes back to the same thing because someone does something bad or they're a bad guy. Let me
Mhm.
tell you, if those any of those mobsters or if Tony Montana or if any of these people chose to live a positive life, the things they would have accomplished, they would have made Elon
Out of this
Musk and all
world.
these dudes. Yeah, they would have crushed everyone if they would have chose to be honest businessmen. They would have changed the
Mm-hmm.
world 100%. It's
Right.
just it's unfortunate they chose that path, but even among like in that path, there's things you can learn and apply in a positive way, of course.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't have a no. I mean, I wrote a whole book about him. You know what I mean? You know, Tony
So
Montana is basically the guy as far as Cuban film, you know, or
mhm.
fictional characters. You know,
So what's one out of the nine that you mentioned, nine methods? What is one that you really love and you really got something out of and it surprised you? And what's one that you mentioned Eagle, something similar to Eagle where it would be on the con side of
Wait, before you answer
go
that,
ahead.
sure,
can you give a little context for anyone listening? What are the nine methods about, and then go into that.
sure.
Yes. I
So I'll
mean, we
go.
got some comments here. I'm sorry, I've been ignoring
Ooh.
them. Curious to know more about the book. Yes, I'm
Sure,
guessing
sure.
this
So
has to do with
basically,
the plot.
I basically broke down the different lessons into 9 chapters.
Hmm.
So I'll just read off the table of contents. So chapter 1 is called El Young Fidel and the Dream Stealers.
Hmm.
I tied in Scarface and a story about Fidel Castro, and it was just how my mind worked, and it's really creative. It's I
Hmm.
think you'll get it once you read it. It's basically the chapters about ambition, about desire, and about how people sometimes unconsciously try to rob you of a big dream that you have or a desire that you have for your life,
Hmm.
and that now as an adult, you know, that happened when you were a kid, and now as an adult I'm trying to just bring you aware to the fact that you were robbed of that desire as a kid, and I'm inviting you to have a new dream, you know, now as you're reading the book.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 2 is the Pathfinder's Pyramid. I basically talk about the 4 stages of life that everybody goes through. It's survival, distracted, searching, and purpose.
Hmm.
So these 4 levels
That's
in
actually
life
pretty
pretty.
good.
Yeah, I
That's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I was like, oh,
Definitely.
man, do
So
that.
not everybody reaches level 4.
Hmm.
Everybody starts off at level 1, which is survival.
A
You
lot of
know,
people get
hustling.
stuck there.
In the
Yeah,
distraction.
yeah. People. So here's the thing: when you're surviving, you know, you're trying to figure out where your next meal is coming from, trying to figure out how to keep the lights on, and it's hard because when you're hungry and you're trying to just figure out how to eat, you can't really plan ahead. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Right, right,
And then the thing is, when people level up and they go to distracted, they think they've made it, because at distracted, you're living a more comfortable life. You're making a little more money. You're going on vacations. You're going out to the clubs. You're going out to the concerts and all that kind of stuff. And you think you made it, but then you realize, no, man, this is all fluff.
right,
Like,
right. You know, as
where's
you
the
say
juice?
that, it makes me think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
It's a
And
very
it's like,
broken down version of it. Yeah,
yeah, like you said that, I'm like, oh my God, that reminds me of that, because so many people get stuck at those beginning levels, and
definitely.
and that distracted phase, it's like, not everyone is very ambitious. So for
Mm,
some people, I feel like that is their ambition to hit that stage.
So
But
you mentioned Jordan and Kobe, and it was studied. Psychologists came up with the theory that in their mind they're never satisfied. So you never saw Kobe or Jordan after they won a chip. Their mind really immediately switched to,
the
I gotta
next one.
go get the next one.
Yep.
So not everybody. I mean, it's something you're born with. Yes, you can develop it. Yes, but it's very hard to find and get to that point in your life where you're not just like you said surviving. You're looking past that whole stage. Like, okay, I want to be here tomorrow, but 5 years from now, this is where I need to be.
For sure.
mhm,
Hmm.
And then once you get past the fluff, you get into searching, which is where
Hmm.
most people that I wrote the book for are. Like, that's who I wrote it for, the people who are searching. It's the
Hmm.
people who are kind of like done with the fluff and done with the small talk, and they want to move on and progress to a better part of their life. They're just not
Hmm.
sure what to do or what direction to take. So my goal, with God willing, is to show this person an idea and maybe inspire them on how to find their purpose, which is level 4.
right,
So chapter 3 is strategy. So it's just talking about how to find a way, different ways to find a way to get to where you want to go. The more
Hmm.
you prepare, the less you have to work later. Chapter 4 is evolution. So evolution, we talk about evolving as a human being. I break it down into two segments: character and skill set. The more you work on your character, the smarter you have to work, not harder. The better you are as a person, the more honest you are, being on time, having integrity, treating others with respect, things like that. The smarter you can work, and you don't have to work as hard. The worse you are as a person, if you're a liar, if you steal, if you cheat, if you betray others, if you do these kinds of things, you're gonna have to work 10 times harder, because you're
right.
not gonna have any relationships. So
Hmm.
that's a
Mhm.
breakdown of that. Who do you listen to is a great chapter,
Mm,
because I teach you
yep.
how to find a mentor and who not to listen to in life. We talk about the chapter after that, the legacy and your superpower, the legacy you want to leave behind, and your superpower, how to identify what you're really good at and how to stay there. Chapter 9 is my one of my favorites. It's every dog has his day. I talk about that. So every dog has his day in the movie has a different meaning, because it's what Tony Montana tells Mel right before he kills him. He's
Hmm.
basically saying, like, every dog has his day, like your day is today, and
Hmm.
you're dead. But the way I interpreted every dog has his day is that the dog, like the underdog, you know
Hmm.
what I mean, like the dude who
Mm,
has no shot. Every
Tony,
dog has his day.
yeah, Tony was the dog in that scene. So it was his day to take over. So
There you
he,
go.
got
instead of,
you.
so
There you
that's
go.
how I always interpreted that scene.
That's how I interpreted it too. Right.
Got it.
So he
So,
tells
and
Mel like, "It's my time, and
yeah,
I'm
straight
taking."
up,
Yeah.
definitely. And that's, if I had to pick one chapter that's special to me personally, every dog has his day is special, because I talk about that. Like, you're gonna go through some wild stuff, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have your day. It's just a matter of implementing what you gotta implement, staying patient, evolving, staying hungry,
Hmm.
overcoming these obstacles, and every dog
Absolutely.
will have his day.
So how do you
Absolutely.
define? People define, because I was doing a podcast a week ago, and somebody asked me about success and stuff. How do you define success? Like, what would that mean to you? Is that something monetary? Is that something
Not at all.
award
To
wise, or what does success mean to
I
you?
have a specific definition for success.
Hmm.
Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
Hmm.
So that's just a fancy way of saying is the progressive, step by step, accomplishing a little goal by little goal to get to the big goal Whether that big goal was to graduate from college and become a teacher, hey,
Hmm.
that's there's nothing wrong with that. If your goal, if it was your goal and you're doing it, then that's success. If your
Hmm.
goal was to just to have a family and be a stay-at-home parent, listen, that's your goal, and you did
Right.
it, and you went out there and did it. You know what I mean? It's it has nothing to do with monetary success. I just so happen to be an ambitious person, and that's what I'm going after.
Hmm.
But it
Hmm.
depends. Success is just, to me, is just the realization of something you had planned beforehand that you've wanted. That's your passion, something that sets your heart on fire,
Hmm.
and you went out there and you got it.
So success, well, I define it as a feeling. Um,
Interesting.
Success is a feeling; it's an emotion. Um, I said if I have one person listening to my show, I still feel successful as if a million people heard it, because it's a release for me and it's a goal that I've
Mm.
had. So that's how
Mm.
I define. And I found that interesting because people hear the word success, they immediately say, "Oh, this guy's got 16 awards, $10 million in the bank, yada 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 yada." But is that person happy at the end of the day? That's my main,
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
because
Right.
uh, being happy and having a good mental space is priceless,
Right.
priceless. And
100%.
and I
Right.
think that's that awakening moment where you figure out exactly what do you want to do with your life, and what your calling is.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love how everyone defines it so differently.
Success,
You
right? It's
know?
it's just
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I've thought of it always as like a pyramid and like there's pieces of a puzzle, and I've always
uh-huh.
thought of like health, wealth, and happiness. So like for me,
Oh,
success
that's a good one. I like
That's a
is
that.
very
like,
good one.
Yeah.
I'm wealthy enough to, live the lifestyle that I
Hmm.
want to live. I'm happy in my career, my family,
Hmm.
and I'm healthy. I can run around with my future kids and you know just have my health. Those have
Hmm.
always been like my three pillars that I've been like striving for.
Okay. I like that one. I'm gonna. This is a question that they asked me and kind of stumped me, and it took me like 2 seconds, and I was like, because as a podcaster, I've asked all the questions, and then when
Right.
you ask me like success or what's your next project, those questions to me are like, they're gimmies to the audience. What's something that you've gone through, Nelson? That what was the turning point? You mentioned a year ago you quit your job, so that's a big
You quit your own business,
your own
not your
No,
business,
yeah,
job.
not
I
the
walked
job,
away.
your
I
own
walked
business.
away from a business. Yeah, from a full time business. My baby that I had been growing for many reasons. Um, and I started fresh,
Mm,
started brand new. So my superpower, just so you know, that chapter I write about superpowers, I have
mm,
two. One is being very direct.
okay.
My I talk about examples about my dad throughout the book, and I reiterate that he's not a bad dude. I'm just using these things that he did as examples. He
Mm,
lied to me a lot. He's like a dude that kind of like lies too much, and then the lies get out of control. You know what I mean?
mhm.
And
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
I feel like we all know somebody like that. We're like, bro.
yeah. So
Is your dad
that
my uncle? No.
so funny enough, what that made me want to do as a kid is tell the truth as
Hmm.
often as possible because I knew
Okay.
what it was like to be lied to, and I didn't want to make other people feel that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
So my superpower is like I could be brutally honest with you.
Right.
I
That's
have
that's
no,
amazing. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely. I have no filter, and I'll tell you how I feel about something.
Mm.
Hands down, I have no shame, no nothing. Like, and then
I
my
feel
other
like that's something
superpower.
everyone needs. I'm so sorry. I'm so
A,
sorry to
No, no,
interrupt,
you're
but
a
right.
lot of people need
No, you're
that.
I
right.
feel like a lot of
You're
people
right.
need that, but like people
A
get so
lot
much
more
hate
things
for
will get
that.
accomplished in this world if
Yeah,
people
but
stop.
people are not used to that, and everyone sees it as being shady or rude
Right,
or so whatever. But
It's
no,
right,
it's
just
like the truth hurts sometimes, and
the
sometimes
world is
no matter
not black
how
and
which way you
white.
cut it, it's like
right.
you might not like it.
Definitely. And
Right.
I always say you're gonna hurt people's feelings sooner or later. So I'd rather
Mm.
hurt your feelings now than later. Because if I hurt
Right.
them later, you're gonna hate me. If I hurt them now, you might like me.
Hmm. I
You
That's
like
know.
like
that.
So
that's like the man that cheats and goes tells his wife that he cheated and didn't waste her time. But then the other guy B, he cheats for 10 years, and then the wife found out. Well, she lost 10 years of her life that you were lying
Yep.
to her and deceiving her. So I get
And the
that
other one
method.
might want to work with you because you came out and were honest. You never
there you
know.
go.
She
Is
might be
that
like, "Hey,
Is that the thing that guys need to do, Jazz? Do we need to?
I'm not, listen, all I'm saying is honesty goes a long way. And if you
Okay.
say sorry and you voice true, genuine, I'm sorry, and you're honest, before
Mhm.
she has to go through your phone or hear from another woman or somebody else's mouth, there might be some appreciation there. She
Yeah.
might hate you and kick you out the house, or she might be like, let's work through this. But there's definitely not a chance, I
So
think,
my whole
of
problem with
working
that
through it
equation
otherwise.
is Nelson mentioned two. He said one. I'm gonna ask him what's his second superpower. My problem with that equation is people don't ask the why anymore. And why
Oh,
isn't
why?
important.
Because they don't think that there's a reason, but there's always a reason, and not a
No, I mean
justification,
the
but it's
men
always a
might not
reason.
know. The men might not know. Small-minded men might not know because small-minded men are the ones that cheat. The man might not know that specific reason why
Mhm.
he did it, but there is something in there. Because they don't. I think we and it's a proven fact. We progress slower than women sometimes, and we the understanding, the why, the how, the knowing yourself. These are things that
The
you learn.
introspection,
Yeah, that you learn as you get older.
self-awareness,
Yes, yes, yes. So
men.
the why. I mean, advice for men: if you're about to cheat, just look at the mirror and ask yourself why.
I would just say why, like, and like, be honest with it. Even if the why is like because I'm feeling really thrilled right now,
And I
or maybe that reveals that you're bored in your relationship.
and it doesn't
Maybe the
have
why
to
is she's
be.
hot.
That's a terrible why.
That's terrible. Why? I'm just
It
saying.
doesn't. It doesn't. And the why is another thing that you could apply to a lot of things in your life. If you're
Absolutely.
unhappy at work, ask yourself why, and that's
Mhm.
how. So the why is what's missing. So Nelson mentioned his first is very direct, which I
Mhm.
always appreciate people who are like that because you need like if Nelson was Kanye West's best friend, I bet you Kanye would be in a better situation right now instead of surrounding him.
Or he might hate
Or
me.
Nelson would be fired.
But hey, I'd rather, like I said, I'd rather hurt your feelings now than hurt them later. Because if I
Mhm.
hurt them later, you're really gonna hate me. I have a possibility of you respecting me if I hurt your feelings up front. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but
Like,
being upfront also it shows you care. Like if you didn't care, then you would just straight out lie and just be like, "Oh yeah,
yep,
Kanye, that's dope." You
Yeah.
yep.
know, so it shows that you care. Credit goes a long way. So what's the second superpower? Now that we went on
I
a
have an
tangent,
ob- I have an obscene amount of risk tolerance. Like it's unhealthy.
Mhm.
damn. So we
not
can't
not
invite
on
you to Vegas.
no. So I actually talk about that in
Mm,
the chapter. When I
mhm,
say risk tolerance, I don't mean like going to the casino and gambling my life savings. I mean
yeah.
I have no problem. So it goes back to it, all the chapters. It's like a there's a flow to them, right? So
Mm,
because of the skills you cultivated in your evolution, your skills, no one can take those away from you.
Right.
Not
mm.
bankruptcy, not divorce,
Oh,
not economic crisis,
I see what you're getting at.
not prison,
Hmm.
not no one can take my skills away.
Mm.
So I can get, knock on wood, I can get thrown in prison for a year tomorrow. I'll come out of that and be like, all right, time to get to work.
Here's the next one.
Because
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, I have the skills necessary to build what I want to build.
Hmm.
Right.
That's why I'm not scared of taking risks, because if I fall down flat on my face, I know I can just get back up and start over.
So I really
Right.
like that one. I've created a lot of podcasts for different individuals, and I was never scared. Like, oh, if this went and popped off, like, oh my god, that's my one true thing. Like, no, I always knew I could reinvent myself or do something new. Like, I was always confident in my skills, and not just in this realm and everything else. So I completely agree with you, and I understand what you're saying now about the risk taking.
For
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
So
Yeah. I also feel like when you have a lot of self-belief, like you're more likely to take risks because, with high self-belief comes confidence,
mm.
and you really like end up feeling inside like, oh, no matter what, like it's gonna
And
work out.
confidence is gonna
So
pay off because let's
let
say
me go do that.
exactly. If people are
Yep.
like, "Oh, this guy is confident. He knows what the fuck he's doing," and they're gonna put
Pe-
more trust
Yes,
in you.
yes.
So,
If you have to believe in yourself before other people believe in you. No one's gonna believe in someone that doesn't believe in themselves.
For
So if
mhm.
you
sure.
believe in
100%.
yourself and you walk and you act like you go about the world knowing that it's gonna work out for you, then you're gonna take those risks. You're gonna
For
show and
sure.
give that energy to people.
For
So,
sure.
so give
So
me an
and
example where you risk one, Nelson. Like, Give what? Well, obviously, walking away from a business.
The big
That's a
one.
big. But did you know at that point, like, listen, this ain't it for me. See
I
you
knew,
later.
I knew, I knew way before I did it. I knew
Mm-hmm.
probably a year before that I was gonna walk away at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it was just putting off the inevitable, and of course I was scared, and
That's the big hump
cut
to get over at first. Yeah.
fear, yeah. But at the end of the day, it's false. It's nothing. Fear is nothing else than false evidence appearing real. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
fear. Whenever a fear comes up, I'm the type of person that I've trained myself to whatever I'm scared of to like go do it as soon as possible, because the more time I let pass by, the more the fear is gonna fester, and the more
Mm-hmm.
scared I'm gonna be.
Right.
So if I'm scared of doing something, I try to just go out there and do it immediately. And but aside from walking away from the business, the time where I took a big risk, I mean, I've taken a few pretty pretty wild ones. Um, I mean, I did the inverse. I walked away from a full time job with fringe benefits and
Mm.
health insurance, 401k, 401k that was stacked to the ceiling and all that to start a brand new business from scratch. So at the
So
end of
this
the
is
day,
not your first time like
no,
following your dream.
no, not at
I
all,
love
not at
that.
all.
I love that.
Yeah,
Put the clap on.
I mean,
thank you.
is it something that you realize, like, if I die tomorrow, right? Am I gonna be happy working at this job? Like,
Hmm.
or because if you die tomorrow, that job's gonna replace you the next day.
The
The
next
very next
day.
day.
Hmm.
How about no, not even this? How about if you have an emergency and they feel the need that the emergency wasn't an emergency to them, they're gonna
Hmm.
get rid of you and replace you, even when you have a valid excuse,
Hmm.
even when you have a valid reason, even when you're
Yes.
whatever, the life happens.
So
You know what
many
I mean?
toxic workplaces like that. Like, and that's why if you find a good one that like you can stay at while you're building your dreams, like be blessed.
Hmm.
For sure.
Hmm.
I personally can't work for anyone. It's just
Yeah.
me.
Hmm.
It's because I found that corporate America has created an environment where incompetence is rewarded, and I don't reward incompetence at all.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I can't deal with it, and I'm not okay with it. I'm a very accepting person. I'm very understanding, and I love to grow with people.
Hmm.
But corporate America is just an environment for the most part. Not every company, but for the most part, it's like people who are in management should be in management. People
Hmm.
who are in leadership positions have never been leaders in their life, and they don't even know what a leader is. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So it's those kinds of things. I've developed myself as a leader. I know what I can do, and I know how to lead others. And it's something where to put myself in a position to win, I know I have to work for myself.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
think it's
something personal.
because, corporate America, I feel like when, you're moving up the ladder, it's because you've been there for so many years and, maybe you made the company money, but they really don't often consider character and
No,
drive and things like that. And it's like you need good character. You just it's like a must. That should be like the very baseline requirement. So
for
I feel
sure.
you.
Yeah.
So, was the plan to now you launched a podcast recently?
Yes.
What's the plan? Book then podcast, and
Yeah.
what's what's
I
what's the podcast about?
So I launched the book May 14th. So it's
Mm,
available on Amazon, English
mm.
and Spanish for, todo el mundo que habla español. I got you. Um, yeah, yeah. So I started the podcast 2 weeks ago. Just
Mm,
just dropped my first episode yesterday. Um, and the plan with the podcast is to further extend where the book ended,
mm.
because a book is good. And I also realize that there's a lot of people who learn better through hearing or
See,
visually seeing
visually, yeah.
things.
Hmm.
So I decided to further expand on the same concept, which is mindset of a winner,
Hmm.
mindset of someone who's successful. And I'm gonna keep doing it. We do that. We drop that Monday nights, Spotify, Apple Music. It's available. And then my next big project, which is where I'm putting all my marbles, and it's my baby and it's my dream, is I'm launching a comic book sometime mid maybe late summer, late fall of this year, and it's a fully original story written by me.
Hmm.
One I don't know if you guys know anything about comic books, but the comic books that have come out lately are like really really really
Mm,
bad. They're basically just getting same old stories and changing one
Hmm.
little thing about them, and it's like, hey, here you go, it's a new story, and it's like, no man, they're like
right.
Spider-Man.
Hmm.
Spider-Man got bit by a spider already. Like, I've seen this already. Like, why are we seeing this again? No, but he's Puerto Rican now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so
And it was
you
a
know what I mean?
cucaracha.
Yeah, no, una araña, es una araña, and it's like, no, bro. So I woke up one day, and instead of like, because that's what's happening with the comic book industry, there's a lot of tokenization going on and things like that. And me personally, I put myself in the shoes of a writer where if I created Batman and I created a character and someone goes out there and changes the origin of that character, I would be upset.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that. You know, Batman is Batman, Superman is Superman. They all have their own greatness. And I personally woke up one day and I was like, man, there's no Cuban superheroes. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make one. You know,
what's his superpower?
The superheroes are based on the Orisha saints that we worship in the Afro-Cuban religion.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
The main character's name is Ray, and he doesn't know it yet, but he eventually finds out that he's Chango, the thunder, the deity of masculinity, thunder, and fire.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah, that's actually very creative.
That's
and
exciting.
Very good concept. Cool idea. So we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be back with Dr. G, and then I'm gonna put Nelson through 3, 2, 1. So here we go from Infinity. 60 seconds.
You do it all without breaking a sweat. Like being a boss exec to Tuesday tennis to homework. Why do the kids have so much homework? Family dinners, lunches, brunches, trips to the vet, and a weekend getaway that's anything but a getaway. And you do it all in style. Even when you have back-to-back conference calls on top of the kids' orchestra recitals, not to mention your side hustle. That's why we created the fully reimagined Infinity QX60. A luxury SUV as functional as it is stylish, and as versatile as it is serene. With premium features like a panoramic moonroof, ample cargo space, and available massaging front seats to bring the ease of luxury to your everyday. Introducing the all-new Infinity QX60, designed to help you take on life and all the chaos it may come with, in style. Learn more at infinityusa.com. Now with extremely limited availability, contact your local retailer for inventory information.
Wow. So here we go with Dr. G. Dr. G, welcome to the podcast.
What up? Thanks for having me.
Our guest today is Nelson Rodriguez. Nelson, Dr. G is here to help you with whatever questions you may have.
What's good, Nelson?
Hood motivational speaker for us here. So is there a question or something that you've been wanting to ask a professional? Because we got 100% one of the best in the game right now. With Dr.
PhD. I'm a therapist, psychologist. What you need help with, I got you.
What's a universal law of the streets that you think would do well if these business guys would apply it in corporate America?
Ooh.
Universal law of the streets? Yo, back in my day, it was all about respect. You got to give respect to get respect. Don't look at nobody sideways. And if somebody look at you sideways, you already know you got to beat their ass. You know what I'm saying? So these businesses need to start respecting the people. You feel? Put them prices down.
Now, Dr. G, I see you had 2 new tiers.
I got 3. I got 3 tiers total.
Oh, 3? Okay, I see some additions. Is this? Can we talk off camera? Like, I'm concerned now. The tier.
If I tell you, I might get another tier. I don't know if you want to know about all that. You know what I'm saying?
Baka.
Dr. G, I don't know if you've been watching, but Nelson wrote a book called The Montana Method. And Nelson, can you give a brief explanation of the book to Dr. G?
Sure, of course. So the book is the principles I have applied in my life that have helped me, that I learned originally from the Scarface film from Tony Montana.
Yo, I knew him, son. Yo, we go way back. We go way back, son. That's my guy. That's my guy. You learn from him? I'm gonna have to chat with you. Maybe you write a book about me. You know? I got some principles for you. You already know.
Oh, so let's ask Dr. G. What's Dr. G's number one principle in the game before Dr. G?
Number one principle:
Yeah.
don't be a punk ass.
Don't
Word
be
up.
a punk ass.
Whatever you
Wow.
do it with your with your heart, son. Whatever it is.
Oh, Dr.
Don't be
G's getting
punk about it.
emotional.
Man up. Be tough.
Okay.
Word up.
Well, Dr. G, thank you for always joining us here on the show. We appreciate your advice, and we look forward to seeing you again next
Glad
week
I
on the
could help.
show.
Glad I could help. Peace out, my
Okay.
man Nelson. You already know. Holla at me about that book deal.
Dr. G, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Dr. G's always great for advice. How'd you feel about Dr. G's response, though? That's a good one. Respect. It's a pretty big, which people nowadays don't really abide by that law, which is an issue with respect. So, how'd you feel about the response?
Money, power, respect. It's what you need in life, right?
Money, power, respect. Wow. Over health? Is health?
I mean, if you
I'm
got
gonna
some
remix
money,
that song.
if you got some money, you could hire a personal trainer and get on a diet. You know what I mean?
So, you said it's available on Amazon. What's one thing the readers are gonna walk away with, or the listeners? By the way, the name of the podcast is the Montana Method, right?
Yeah, Montana Meth Podcast.
It's available on Spotify and Apple.
Apple Music.
What is one thing you want readers and listeners to walk away with from this book? Awareness. Okay.
Yep. Awareness meaning you know where you stand in your life. You have an idea of what direction you want to head. Maybe not a clear, specified passion, but at least you know the general direction you want to head in. And just be conscious of, this is what I want, this is where I'm at, and maybe I'll take a step towards it. If I could inspire somebody to become self-aware of their circumstances and just choose to take action instead of blaming life for whatever hand they were dealt, that would basically be the purpose of my book.
That's so important. There's a lot of people that are adults and they still blame their parents for things, and that only works up until a certain age. And after that, it's like you got to take some type of responsibility. And until you do, you can't change your life.
For sure. 100%.
So we have a segment here on the show we like to end off with. It's called 3, 2, 1, right? What are 3 things you've watched lately that you felt that's exact same connection as you did with Scarface?
That's a good one.
3 things. Oof, that's a big connection.
3 things.
Again, there's a lot of things to watch. See, it doesn't necessarily have to be a film or a television show.
Well, me personally, I really like. I'm into film and stuff, but lately I can't really think of a movie. What I can't think of a TV series though. I don't know if you guys know about Better Call Saul, but it was I recently got into it and it was surprisingly good. Surprisingly good.
It is
surprisingly good.
Vince Gilliam, who wrote Breaking Bad, is a phenomenal writer. When I heard he was doing the prequel, I immediately started watching it, and a lot of people said I'm a day one Better Call Saul fan. Called me crazy. Nah, this is not as good as Breaking Bad. I was like, are you kidding me?
I would argue that it is.
The layers in the story, like, it throws you off in the beginning because his name is Jimmy McGill.
Yeah.
But just a fantastic, and you get background stories on all the characters that you love so much in Breaking Bad, in Better Call Saul.
So what's funny is in that show, it has the same theme. I have a reoccurring theme with the characters that I like, right? So Scarface was an anti-hero. The mob guys that I enjoy watching an anti-hero. In a way, Saul, he's not a good guy.
No.
You know what I mean? At all. And he has that anti-hero kind of like thing going on where he wants to do the right thing.
Always cheering for Saul. Even in Breaking Bad.
Yep, 100%.
As much as there were points where you hated him, but he shows one of the comments was talking about why you would connect to characters like that. The mentality created a sense of morality displayed on screen. It transcends race.
Transcend race and class. Yep.
Exactly. So it's like something that you're talking about. You're Cuban from Miami, and you connect to these characters. Saul is from New Mexico, I think, in the film.
Yeah, New Mexico.
So-
Born in Chicago, I think, or something like that.
yeah. So it's something that it's not who the person is just qualities that you
100%.
and just the ambition and the drive.
And a character in there that I further connected with after I saw Better Call Saul that I hated in Breaking Bad was Gus Fring.
Oh, Gus Fring
Like-
is just fantastic. Esposito, by the way,
Giancarlo Esposito is a beast, man. That's another one.
phenomenal
He's playing
actor.
No, listen, this is a half Italian, half Danish man that was born in New York. Like, he has nothing to do with Hispanic. He has no Hispanic in him whatsoever. Spoke Spanish, had the accent. The man killed it. The man killed it. And he portrayed a lot of different qualities in Better Call Saul that it made me relate to him in some
I
ways.
haven't seen Better Call Saul. Was he Latino in it? Well,
Have you seen Breaking Bad?
for context, I saw Breaking Bad, and certain things are just hard for me to watch. You know, I'll be having my own little personal triggers. But I remember the episode I stopped at. I was just like, God, I just can't do it anymore. It was like the two guys were in his house and he was taking a shower and they left the eyeball like in the wrong place. And you know, someone in the car was like, yo, homie's about to get ice. So then the other man called and was like, yo, go to El Pollo Loco. So then the two guys left his house. At that episode, I stopped. I was like, this is just, my heart was palpitating over here. Like I got too into it. I was like, I can't. He's gonna die. I just can't watch it.
No.
So, but I did love Saul when I saw him. I was like, I do like this guy. So I also fell in
Breaking
love
Bad
with
is one of
Jesse,
those TV shows that changed a lot of stuff too, man.
Yeah, it was so. I
finish
got 5
watching it.
seasons in.
It is. I think it's 5 seasons. So
Yeah, it's 5 seasons long.
Oh, then
Finish
maybe I'm
watching.
3 seasons in.
Finish watching.
Maybe I'll revisit it. Maybe I'll revisit it.
Finish watching it, Jazz.
Okay.
For sure.
And then watch Better Call Saul.
Okay.
For sure.
It's gonna complete the photo of the whole story for you.
For sure.
Yeah, I want justice for Jesse. You know, Jesse was breaking my heart.
I mean, he got a movie.
You didn't see them? Oh, that's right.
I saw a little preview and I was like, turn it off.
Know what you mean. He got out better than everybody else.
Yeah,
He did. Wait. So Breaking Bad ends good for Jesse?
You got the movies after Breaking Bad.
You want us to spoil it for you?
Yeah, I love spoilers. I'm not one of those people that's like, don't spoil it.
Man.
I know, I'm the
Nah,
worst.
me, hell no.
My
I'll get angry if
anxiety-
someone spoils a movie for me, dog. I'm throwing hands. I'll be like, yo,
Yo.
man, come on, dog. What are you doing, bro? No.
So the
No,
common
my
theme of
anxiety
the
needs
film
it.
is the relationship between Walter White and Jesse.
Got you.
He sees Walter White as a father figure and is always seeking his approval, and nothing he does gets that. To the point where he starts to resent him. That's where you see that curve in the show.
Right.
Do you want me to ruin it for you?
Ruin it for me.
Walter basically sacrifices himself for Jesse.
Oh, my heart. Okay. Oh God. See, I just really care about Jesse. I love him so much.
And Better Call Saul, they're both going to be on the show. So
okay.
I can't wait because the season finale, they
just did like a mid-season thing. Yeah.
But Jesse and Walter White are going to be on both on Breaking Better Call Saul. So
all right. Then, you know, you gave me hope. Maybe I'm gonna go revisit.
you have to. It's
Okay.
one of
But
the
you
best
see what I mean? You know what
shows.
happens already. So how are you excited to watch it if you know what happens?
I'm excited to know the journey. You know, I would be really disappointed if something happened to Jesse.
It's like wrestling. When I found out wrestling was fake and the ending was predetermined, I just turned that shit off.
Yeah, you turn it off because it's not exciting anymore.
So, but The Wire was another show for me that.
Listen,
amazing.
that's funny. I was just about to bring up The Wire because I saw The Wire for the first time last year.
Yeah,
that's funny.
There's another show on television, same writer, same producer. It's called We Own the City. It's on HBO also. It's a similar type of concept. I guess Jazz's computer's acting up. She's gonna.
Yeah. So me personally, it was Better Call Saul, The Wire, and the third thing I've watched recently that was really good. Man, I've watched a lot.
I'm gonna take a guess. Can I guess? Is it Ozarks?
Man, Ozark was good. Ozarks was good. That TV show was good, man. And I like the perspective because
Mm-hmm.
I got tired of the narco
Mm-hmm.
genre. I got really tired of it
Yeah.
because it was just they kept on making again and again and again, and it kind of got old to me at least.
Mm.
And this brought it in a fresh perspective from the perspective of like the dude on the
The
inside, the
accountant,
white
yeah.
collar guy, you
Yeah.
know. And it
Have
was
you seen Ozark's, Jazz? Please, if
never.
you're gonna get suspended.
I'm
Bro, that
sorry.
thing
I'm
is
sorry.
Ozarks is pretty
Some of the
You
best
know
legit.
what? I
writing
spent
on
years not
TV.
watching TV, and now that
I mean, that's
I'm
good.
right
You're doing you're working.
because
I
I've
mean,
been
okay,
doing. But
okay,
now
okay.
that I'm
Mhm.
writing, I'm watching a lot of like comedies and
You're a writer as well?
dramedies. Yeah, I'm a writer too.
That's awesome. What do you write? Books or
I'm
screenplays?
writing my own show,
She's a comic.
and
Nice.
I write skits. I just submitted
awesome.
to a program today. I wrote like a Family Guy episode. It was hilarious.
That's awesome.
So yeah. I like writing too. That's what I enjoy hearing about your
We'll
book.
definitely collaborate. Once I have this once I have this comic book in the TV series stage, I'll reach out to you for sure.
All right, cool.
So, what are two things you've been listening to that you mentioned 48 Laws of Power, which is
Yeah.
also an audiobook.
Very all his book. Yeah. I when I read it, I listen to it as well. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna recommend a book to everybody who's listening right now called The 33 Strategies of War.
Mhm.
The book is on some other stuff. It's man, it really prepares you for life. I really like it. And it's the same author as the 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, not because he's my friend or anything, but Richie's music motivates the ever living hell out of me, man. Let me tell you, because I reconnected with Richie. So I'll tell you the backstory. Richie and I have been friends for over a decade.
Mhm.
I've known him since high school, and we just grew. We went our separate ways in life. No beef, no nothing like that. We just went our separate ways because we had different things, to do that we wanted to accomplish. And about, I want to say 3 or 4 months ago, we reconnected, and I went over to his house. We talked. I told him I was doing the book, and we've just been helping each other as much as we can, man. And his music is just, he's evolved as an artist, and his music is just like, man. I used one of his songs as the intro to my podcast. How about that? Like,
nice.
Yes.
Sueño Americano, was it Sueño Americano, or was it?
There's so many of them, man. You got Sueño Americano, you got On Fire, you got Problem,
yeah.
you got so many. Oh, Todo,
Yeah,
bro.
Todo.
Oof.
This is I've had Richie on the show twice, and I've heard the entire album and some stuff that it's not gonna be on the album. His music is. I just can't wait for it to officially come out because I can't really talk about it because
Listen,
he let me hear it, and I told him my favorite joints on it, but he got a record with Domingo and Don Dinero that is one of my favorites, and it is on his album. It's
and
just
what I love is
he made it his own.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it so much.
And it hits home with me, right? Because I'm a Cuban American just like him. So that's like Cuban, like if Cuban American was a type of genre or was a music, it'd be his music. You know what I mean? And it's special. It's very special to me, and I love everything. I love him as a person. He's like we have a lot in common. We both work really hard. We're both really driven. We both like to push each other, like feed off each other. And he's just a great person, man. I can't wait. He's gonna blow up eventually because he's just undeniable.
I've been saying it for 2 years now.
He's undeniable.
Richie Rich is the real deal. Listen, so we have a lot of people in common, Richie and I. And when he was working on recording the Cuban Connection album with Don Dinero, I heard a few songs. I was like, damn, this shit is fire. And my boy Torres was like, yo, that's my boy Richie Rich from Miami. He writes.
Oh, you know Torres, huh?
Rap,
I've heard him on a couple of tracks. He's pretty dope.
That's my compadre. Torres, Torres, like, yo, he writes, he raps, he sings, and he does the beats.
He does everything.
No way.
He does everything.
Him and Brainiac, they really nice combination there.
Yo,
I cannot wait. Here's a few songs. I said I put a video together. Donde Quieras is a very, you'll get a lot of, I'm telling you, this is the flavor of the sound that he has made. Donde Quiera, Sueño Americano, Babalu Ayer, Todo. There's something that he did with Eddie. Forgot the
He
name
did
of it.
another song with Don Dinero and Eddie Ka called Se Formó that has that same
That
like,
yes, but there's another one because he did a few with Eddie.
right.
It's just, and I'm not Cuban,
Rick,
but
I'm gonna need you to send me this album.
I
Drop the link. I'm gonna listen to it.
Listen to what's already out. Trust me,
Okay.
with the stuff he already has out is like nuts. It's very
I
good. Very
I
good.
still don't understand. Like I told Richie, like last year, I told him, you're gonna be a big dude. Like you're gonna be a big star. Like you have
Huge,
an
huge.
immense talent, my brother.
I told
And
him,
he
listen,
thinks
man.
I'm just like blowing smoke. No, and
No.
I mean it. Like because I hear the quality of the music and it's so good.
Listen, I'm with Richie probably once a week because I'm recording my audiobook at his house.
Hmm.
And the same passion and drive and like heart that he puts into his own music, he's putting into my audiobook. He's a stand-up guy. I love him to death. And I've told him, this is how much I believe in him. I told him, listen, bro, I need you to make the music for my TV series. So if you blow up before my TV series comes to production, I don't want to hear no excuses about, oh, I got a tour.
Yeah.
No.
No.
You're going to come make my music for my TV series, all right? So
he told me when I had him on recently, I think it was the day that Todo dropped. He came on the show. I brought him back. We were having a conversation about the album that he was working on. He's like, "Yo, when we jump offline, I'm gonna send you the whole album." Literally, we jumped offline. He sent me not just the album, but other unreleased tracks as well.
yeah, you heard Representa with Erika. Oh my God.
So I'm not.
Yo, fire.
The man is the man. He's a man of his word. I just told him I want the record in vinyl or CD, whatever form, actual
sure.
physical copy of it, and I want him to
Autograph it.
Yeah, because it's gonna. I want to save it. It's a memory. See, look, this is Richie sent me.
He sent you the whole thing. Yeah.
That's it.
So.
Man.
Shout out to
He
Richie.
showed me the music videos for some of those, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, he's filmed. Todo was filmed last year, and he waited because he has like some stuff tucked in. Like he did the few things with Don Dinero, and they waited, and then now they dropped this. So
Definitely.
let me just bring it back to full circle. 3, 2, 1. You said the two things. Richie's album, which is called Mi Raíces, is coming soon. It's gonna be one of the best albums this summer.
For sure.
What's one thing you want? I already asked what you want the readers and listening to, but what's one thing you want to accomplish this year?
Definitely launch my comic book, 100%. It's something I'm putting all my heart and soul into it. It's me, and it's good, not to toot my own horn or anything, man. But every time like I refine it and I'm organizing it, and my ideas are like the few people that have read it, what I have so far, they're like, listen, man, it's not because you're my boy, but this is like, I don't know how you came up with this, but this needs to come out like now.
Yes.
So my drop at least issue number 1. My goal is to drop it by late summer, latest late fall of this year.
Are you illustrating it as well?
No, I'm a decent writer, but I can't draw stick figures.
Okay. I was like, wow, you're really doing it all. You're about to the business, the writing, the podcast, like
any illustrators out there
looking to collaborate for sure.
Yeah, Miami area looking to collaborate.
You guys are up in Jersey?
New York.
Funny enough, the one concept artist that I have so far that's not doing too bad a job, he's up in Jersey. He's up in, I think, is it Union City? I don't remember. Yeah.
So I want to thank you, my brother, for sharing some of your passion, sharing the book, sharing some of your ideas. I truly appreciate them. You become a family member. Every time that somebody comes on the show, I tell them they're a family member. This isn't the last time. This is the first time, but not the last time that you'll be on the show. Thank you for that. Shout out to Richie Rich. I'll have Richie and Don Dinero back on the show soon.
My brother.
Next week we'll have a brand new episode for everybody. And thanks again, Nelson.
Thank
you both.
Nelson.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Jazz. I appreciate you sharing your space and believing in me to come and show value to everybody watching. and it's the beginning of a fruitful relationship for sure.
When does
And
the
if-
audiobook drop?
The audiobook, the
He's
English
trying to listen
audiobook.
to it.
Yeah, but listen, I love listening to stuff.
Richie's gonna hate me right now. We're gonna drop it July 1st.
Okay.
Damn.
Which is gonna be like, damn, let me get to work.
Richie's
you,
gonna
thank
watch
you.
this and call me like, bro, what are you doing?
Richie, you get to work, bro.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Thanks again, my brother. And if you need help with podcasting or anything like that, or advice on it, you have my information. Always
Appreciate you
welcome,
guys.
all right?
Yeah, definitely. So thank you for everything. I appreciate you guys.
Peace and love,
With,
everybody. No, go ahead.
Definitely. I end every interview that I do. If you're not chasing a dream, life is meaningless.
Wow. I'm not even going to say mine after that. Have a good night, everybody.
You feel that knock? I feel like Rocky in this one, baby. Let's go. Alright, check it. Blast from the past, back from the future. So if I pull the trigger in the past, it's no you and your future. I'm still hustling, still hugging the block. The referee to the shit, I'm still calling them shots. I can't be stopped, that's what I told you. I'm living my life like a box of Crayolas. I'm cutting up white, smoking that green. Purple color pens, I'm still making this cream. I'm so sick, check my throat quick. My wrist light up a room like a handful of glow stick. I'm like spoiled milk, the kids gone bad. Dennis the menace, my pen touches the pad. Niggas is mad, but the ladies is glad. Yo, they rubbing up against me like this nigga is rad. Fucking two divas, drinking on sangria. I got the beam of the colors, diarrhea. Tire strings on my feet cause I'm so fly. Hopped out the DeLorean, it's Artie McFly.